the customer jobs. So, like, what is it that, like, what's going on in your customer's life? Like, what do they want? What do they need? What are they doing day in and day out? And that can actually be a really fun process to go through and figure out, because you kind of get into the mind of your customer and be like, okay, so how does your customer live? Is it, first off, like, is this a man or a woman? Is this a older man or a younger man? Is this a an older woman or a woman in her mid 20s? Is this someone who's married? Does this person have kids? And then you have to start going from that, at that point of describing and writing down, okay, what are they doing? How is their life going? Like, what, when they get up, what do they do? What do they eat for
Mhm.
breakfast? You can
The
get
book actually talks about finding 2 or 3 of these potential clients
yeah,
and spending
yeah,
3 days with them.
yeah, that's
Live
like
with them for, like, 3 days.
yeah, you want to get to know them inside and out. Like, some of the best marketers
I like
out
the way you
there
say that.
are, yeah, some of the best marketers out there are people who can like, get inside and empathize with other people, get inside their head and empathize with them and
Salesmen
understand.
empathize. Marketers also. Marketers, have to have the additional ability of,
Yeah,
uh, data analytics. Sales have to have the ability to communicate and relate.
yeah, yep. Oh, to be honest with you, too many salesmen are slimy.
Oh,
So
it was not the 1970s car salesman anymore. Come on.
you and I both know one person who is very slimy and is a
Yeah, I
salesperson.
wouldn't call him a salesman.
A grifter.
Maybe. Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, there is this, right? So it's one thing to present yourself well and to impress 1 or 2 people,
Yep.
right? But it's another thing to be able to create sales, to provide value, and to um, connect the right product with the right person.
Well, one of the interesting thing aspects about that, is that exactly what you just said: connecting the right product with the right person, or the right person with the right product,
Yeah,
And
I
sometimes
think a
you do a
salesman
good job with that.
that
Sometimes you suck.
sometimes you suck, and sometimes we all suck.
Uh
The
huh.
I like to look at salesman as being a lifestyle, right? A salesman is a salesman for life, and
Mm,
he uh he may work for one company for a few years, another company, another time, and sell different products. So for me, the best salesmen are the ones that say, this company is not for you. Why don't you go over and check out Mercedes, right?
yeah.
Or why don't you go check out Ford,
Hmm.
right? It's like, I see where you're coming from, you know, I like you, man. Consider these guys, but before you go, let's just do a test drive so you can have fun and see what it's like here.
I actually had a salesman who was like that once, a long time ago.
Oh
He,
yeah?
ba- he, I showed up at the car place. I
Yep.
talked to him. I looked at a bunch of things, and we went for a test drive. And I just sat there, and I was hemming and hawing. And he basically said, he said to me, "Look, it looks like you've made your decision about what you want, but it also looks like you're not quite ready to make that decision and pull that trigger. Go home, think about it, come back when you're ready." And I did.
Mhm.
And I didn't give him the sale. I went and I did it for somebody else, but he was like one of the best salespeople salesmen I've ever met, and I really appreciate what he did. And I thought
Mhm.
that was like phenomenal. I thought that was best best thing that you could do
Yeah.
for sales.
And it's like that. And so especially as you get up in your career,
Yep.
and now you're young, right? You're like 25 years old and young stud looking for a 18 and a half year old wife. So you can have 23 children. And when you get a little bit older, right? If you stay in one community, you're going to start recognizing the same people. And when he's working in another place, right? He'll carry more authority, right? So you'll recognize these people as you go through your life.
Mhm.
And this is especially true for luxury items where
Mhm.
you're dealing with a smaller group of buyers, right?
Mhm.
And you're providing value. It's hard to provide significant value to people with no money, right?
Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I know it sounds rude, and this should be probably become a meme, right?
It's in all reality, like, oh my gosh, it's one of those things. Like, anyway, keep going. I could go. I'm about to get on a
We'll dive
soapbox,
into
and I
this
don't.
more in the after call if there's time,
At some point, we'll dive into it. We we
right?
we have 30. We have. I hate to do a time thing, but we have 30 minutes, and we want to keep going.
I think if we get through this description, the value map and the customer profile,
Okay,
that'll be enough
works.
for today
Sounds good to me. Keep going.
because we don't have time to get into it. But the go back to the salesman, right?
Yeah,
Or anybody who provides value.
yeah.
We everybody changed jobs a lot, but your authority carries with you, right? The value that you give to people, the goodwill, the ability to care about people, that carries. People remember that. So I think that's a skill that's worthwhile for everybody to develop and to have personal value and to just be a man of your word and to say that speak truth.
Mm-hmm.
Now that said, how do we tie that back to value maps?
There's like a little. Got it. I think I got it.
Kill it.
No, there was like a little still right there. Ha! Oh, I'll get it some other time. I know. I sorry. There's a. Oh, never mind. Anyway, go on.
All right, cool. So let's get back to fit.
Mm-hmm.
How do you compare, right? So how do you do this? Um,
I
let's go to your
love.
example. I think because we can have
I love
fun
that
at this
question.
point.
Well, which
How do you
example do
do
you
it?
want to go with? Do you want to go with the Tylenol example or the iPhone example?
I want to go with the knitting.
Yay, the fun one. Okay, preface with all of this stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, preface, little insight into me. I've got a side business right now where I do
Best organic stuff in the world.
sorry, I just loaded up something that I'm playing with and it looks kind of cool. I like the update. The update is cool. Uh
Well, now you got to
so
show us.
no, I can't. I can't show
Ugh,
you because that would violate certain things and I cannot.
I don't like violations.
Yeah, I know. When we're not recording, I can show you. Um, okay, so as a side business, I have a hand dyed yarn company. Crazy thing, big story behind all of that. Long and short of it is, there's a community of people who really love hand dyed yarn because a lot of it is that you get really good high quality yarn with it, and it is good high quality yarn. A lot of the stuff that you get when you go to Michael's and you buy yarn, it's super cheap, yes, but it's all fake, and it's not good.
Well,
Um,
not to forget the original coloring, the original texture, right? You can't. These are unique custom colors, right? They're
yeah,
not going to be everywhere.
right, exactly. And that's kind of one of the part of the value proposition and everything is that this is all very unique. Anywho, yes, so that's what I have right now. That's what I'm working on. Got yeah. So all
There
right,
it is. So there's background. Alan
that's the
likes to get
background.
his hands dirty
I
with pretty
do. I
colors.
really do. And I'm like trying within the next year, I'm going to get my hands even dirtier. So hopefully within the next year, if we can get all of the bank bank stuff together and we can we can get the other thing that we're doing in my family, we're opening up what's called a fiber mill, which is where we take wool and we process it and turn it into yarn. Um, it's really
We call
cool.
this
It's really awesome.
vertical integration, horizontal integration.
Would it
Horizontal
be
integration.
horizontal?
It's horizontal. Yeah, because it's a separate industry and along the same niche, the same vector.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
it's
Well,
yeah,
but
it's
even then,
horizontal.
even if it's horizontal, because you can dye the wool prior to it becoming yarn. Huh.
Can you?
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
You
don't have to
you
wash the crap off the stuff?
well, yeah, no, you clean the fleece
I
up and
I
everything.
everybody, I imagine, like, throwing a sheep cute little sheep into, like, a big vat of pink dye.
You have pink sheep wandering around in the field. Wait, what?
That's my image. Sorry, dude, right? That's my ignorance, but that's what I imagine.
Oh my gosh, I
And
love
I'm
it.
sure I'm not the only one that imagines. Some of them are imagining rainbow, and some of them imagine rainbows with little horns.
I feel like a kid's cartoon right now.
Yeah, we are. We're now a meme.
A meme in the yarn industry. I have to use that now for for social media somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
We're
my
so serious,
gosh.
people.
Oh, that was beautiful. Beautiful.
But you know what? This is exactly how the meetings go when we're talking about this kind of evolution of the product with the clients, right?
Yeah, yeah. This is a
This
good.
is the fun part of doing business.
Yep.
That's the fun part of doing this. We talk so serious, but it's mostly like all jokes like this when you get into the real stuff.
And that's what's so fun about like doing some of these things. Like you just have fun with it. And a lot of it too is when you are in an industry which people do not really know much about. So my industry, for example, it's a whole world that people know have no clue, absolutely zero clue about it. And it's, you know what? Yeah, it's kind of wild to not be able to um like no to have to be able or to have to explain it to people and get and have them understand what is going on, because it's like, hey, guess what, you know, I am doing this thing that you've never thought about before. Let me explain it to you from the very beginning. Sorry.
Yeah.
um
No, it's kind of fun just because like just now we talked about a couple things. One was comparing the difference between like Walmart yarn
yes,
and custom yarn,
yes.
right? And
So
people would never realize like, oh yeah, there's a problem. I
yep,
don't want to have like this Walmart sweater because if I
yeah,
take the Walmart yarn,
yep.
I make a Walmart sweater.
Yeah, so let's unpack that aspect of that. So in some regards there's a bit of pain in with that. Okay,
Hmm.
um, pain being the Walmart sweater aspect of it. So when you go to a store like Michael's or you go to a store like Walmart and you get the yarn from there, a lot of it's
Yep.
going to be like acrylic yarn, which in some regards is not bad, but it is definitely cheap and you can feel that.
Yep.
And it's like not as comfy, it's not as good to use. Along those
Hmm.
lines, it's also very easily torn apart, and it just does not last at all. So the
Uh-huh.
pain there is kind of like building, you spend hours and hours making
I was about
something
to
that.
say you spent 40 hours making the sweater for your niece,
Yep,
your
yep,
this baby,
yep,
and you paid $5 for the material,
yep,
but you spent 40 hours, and it turns out not to be as pretty as the $12 baby whatever sweater that you
yep,
made with the $12 one is made from better materials because they're not going to make something with that low end material that you bought
yep,
for $5, right? Walmart
yep,
won't source that. So you end up creating an inferior product
yep.
based off of what? Just you didn't know better, right? Because you
Yeah,
didn't know you could
exactly.
get custom yarn. You just go to Walmart, you buy the yarn, and now like shit. Okay, everybody's like, oh, great, this junky, awkward feeling, rough kind of sweater for my niece,
Oh,
and
the
she's never gonna wear it. It's gonna
plastic
itch.
feeling,
Yeah,
rubbery, all of these things, all of those things. It's
right.
yeah, exactly.
Versus, spending a little bit more
Hmm.
and getting given this loving hand sweat netter
Hmm.
sweater for the niece that you would put on a baby's bottom, right?
Hmm.
Because it feels amazing and is snuggly and warm and soft and beautifully colored.
Yes, exactly. Like that's so. What we just talked about is a pain and a gain. Like
Yep.
the
The
pain
pains, the
being,
gains, the jobs, and the value proposition.
oh, yep. Or well, not yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying about jobs. I when they say jobs, like in my opinion, it's kind of like a checklist or a to-do list, not necessarily like
Uh-huh. Sure.
uh,
Sure. Um,
I
maybe I
don't know.
spent too much time reading the book,
I
but
don't know if
it's okay.
that's so
So jobs
that's
is shut up. Jobs is
who.
defined. Customer jobs describe what customers are trying to get done in their
Yeah,
work and in their lives, as expressed in their own words. Sorry, dude. Just had fun with that.
I don't care. I'm not going to say anything anymore.
Zip.
Mm,
You ripped out my
Nothing.
soul.
Completely, totally.
So yeah, no, I also don't love the way they describe jobs. It's like tasks, and they show it as tasks, like checklist.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also understand the concept that they're trying to get at with jobs because like making a sweater is a job. So like
Yep.
an example I would say with it for it.
I think the way they use that kind of terms is because if it's just a task,
Yeah.
right, just something you check off, maybe you do it, maybe you don't, right? But a
Yeah.
job has to get done,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So if it's not pressing enough to make somebody take action, it's not a product you can sell.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You're correct.
So while I agree with you, I don't like the word jobs on this
Hmm.
one. I kind of see why they say it.
I don't get me wrong, I see it too, and I understand. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to recap and define very, very succinctly for listeners, like the pain. So going back to the yarn business, the pain there is you're spending a lot of time. Like when you go and you buy cheap yarn from Walmart, you're spending a lot of time to make something that is not necessarily going to last, is not very comfortable, or not necessarily very comfortable, that type of thing. When you go and you buy like high quality yarn, you gain something very unique, very special, and then it's like that is going to last, that could be handed down from generation to generation type thing. Like we all have our like the grandmother who had a sweater that passed it on to your mother, that passed it on to you type thing. We've seen those things because that stuff lasts for a long time, um, and it just is made much better. Product and service and everything would be custom yarn, custom colors, high quality yarn.
Mhm.
And then job and the tasks would be like making things or creating things, like a sweater or a scarf or a hat, something along those lines. Did I cover that? Did I cover that very succinctly?
I think you nailed it. I think you nailed
Cute.
it. Actually, I think on that one we can transition into post call.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao, guys. This next section is going to be fun.